Welcome, everyone, to episode 376 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Will.
Will,
Yes.
have you ever had a shit day, week, month, or year?
Yeah, I've felt all of those.
Yeah, okay, well, uh, we are going to be talking about comfort games, the games you play when you've had a bad day, week, month, year, couple days, what have you. Because we've had a kind of a tough week in our household. Will, I will let you, our households, I should say, I'll let you start the story because you were kind of there at the beginning of all of this, right?
Yeah. So should I start from the preceding weeks or
Yeah, I mean, those of you that have listened to the show for a while know that our dad had cancer a few years back.
Yes.
It went away for a little bit. It came back, and then so he went through a second round of chemo was it May?
It was
April?
before May.
April?
Because May is when he went to go get his surgery.
Well, that's what I mean. For his surgery, it was in May, right?
Yeah, so it was the beginning of May that he went to go get his surgery.
So he went to Indianapolis to have a lengthy surgery to remove the scar tissue and what was left of the tumors and stuff.
Correct, yeah.
Long recovery from that, so go ahead.
Yes, so he had a long recovery, had a lot of PT that he had to go through, all that stuff, and about 3 weeks ago, I want to say at this point, maybe 4, I think it was 3, he was having issues where he got to the point where he could walk, he was fine, he was slow, but, he was, functioning fine, but it got to the point where his leg had swollen so much that he couldn't really walk anymore, and he was in a lot of pain and whatnot. Long story short, it was infected. So the infection had pretty much ruined his ability to walk around normally. He had to use a walker. He was in a lot of pain. He couldn't sleep, couldn't really eat, so on and so forth. So we had taken him to the ER and for appointments 3 or 4 times within the last 2 weeks. And, he was sent home every time. They said they were doing research on what was going on. Meanwhile, his right leg was swollen to the point of not being unrecognizable, but it was very obviously swollen badly, and it was kind of pushing to his other leg too. And lo and behold, last Friday, our mom had to rush him up to the ER up in Syracuse to get looked at, and they had to admit him and do an emergency surgery to kind of quell the infection.
Yeah, they almost didn't admit him. There was one nurse that who we have to give credit to. I wish we could come up with their name. I don't think Mom remembered it.
Yeah, she didn't tell us.
Yeah, but she was the one that brought Dad's issues to the attention of the doctor that was there, and was concerned about it enough to raise a stink. So, thank you to her for doing that.
Yeah, because if not, he wouldn't be around.
Probably not. Probably the infection was very severe. It was a 6-hour surgery.
6+ hour surgery.
But he had also lost blood because he had a stent put in his artery or vein in his leg, and that had been leaking blood. They think the entire time, right? Since when he started.
Mom told me that it could have been from the time that it was put in, or it could have happened in June, July,
Okay,
August.
it could have happened later.
At any point, but the worst case, it happened immediately after.
Right. So he had lost a lot of blood through that, to the point where even before they did the surgery, they had to give him 11 units of blood, which is a crazy amount of blood.
Yeah, it was. I actually talked to our uncle about that, and he said he wasn't sure if it was 11. He thinks it might have been 11 from the time that he first had blood pumped into and had blood continually pumped into him within the next 3 days.
Yeah, but either way, they were concerned with how little blood he had in his system.
Yeah, they said he was in shock because it was so low.
Yeah.
So he had that, and he's been recovering. And the issue was they weren't sure if after the surgery and they got him up on his own, if he was going to recover but eventually be fine. B, he would have to get his leg amputated in case the blood flow wasn't working going to his leg, or C, if they couldn't get the infection under control, it could be fatal.
Yep.
As of right now, he's recovering fine.
Yeah.
He's improving a lot. The nurses are actually really happy, but the doctors do say he's not out of the woods, because infections can strike at any moment. It's just as of right now, everything seems to be trending in the good direction, but we've been pretty much in the hospital a bunch since Friday or Saturday.
It's also not the hospital that's right here in town. It's about an hour and 15 or 20 minutes north of us in Syracuse. So
yeah,
it's harder to get up there. You can't just pop up there for a few minutes here and there to see how he's doing. It's a length, some fairly lengthy commute, enough that it's not easy to get up there.
Yeah, I think on Tuesday when we had our draft, I know I was there from like 2 until 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been really stressful, difficult. There's a lot going on with all of it, and it sucks right now. But as of right now, it looks like he's getting better. But
yeah. So me and Will were talking, because we went up together on Saturday. And we were talking that we probably wouldn't get to Life is Strange this week, so that's probably going to be next week. And we figured at that point a good episode to do would be Comfort games.
Yep.
Because we were both talking about the games we were going to play when we got home to kind of rest our minds and take our minds off of things. So
yeah, and feel better.
Yes. So that's today's topic. Do you have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode, Will?
Yeah, I've been playing Forza Horizon 4.
Nice.
I've been playing the two things that I've been going back and forth on. Have been that and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Those are the two things that I've really kind of gone all in on playing. I know, Dan, we talked about all the comfort games that we're going to end up playing. I didn't get to any of the ones that I really wanted to play.
Yeah.
But I did end up playing some things this week. It was hard to pay attention to schoolwork and stuff like that. So the only things that were comforting for me was being able to play Forza Horizon. And, I could be distracted enough.
Yeah. I did play one of the games I have on my list, but I also will talk very, very briefly about Life is Strange 2. Like I said, that episode will most likely be next week. I'm assuming Will and Corey will be able to get to it. I didn't even play anymore. My wife and I did the last week's rookie camp on the first hour of it, and haven't played it since then. So
yeah, I'll get to it. I actually don't have class Monday or Tuesday. I just
that's right. It's
a mid-semester break.
Oh, Columbus Day.
Yeah, they don't want to give Columbus Day credit.
Sure.
So they call it mid-semester break, even though it's week 5 of school.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that, but not get too much into detail, because hopefully we'll be doing a spoiler-filled episode on it next week. So, okay, Will, first game on your comfort games list. I've also got a couple honorable mentions too. I will say that stuff I read other people saying that they played for comfort games. So, talk a little bit about those too.
There's a couple different paths I go down for when I'm looking for a comfort game. There's sometimes where I want to get lost. The general theme, our game, I replay games is what I do.
Yeah, something familiar.
Something familiar, something safe to me. And it kind of really depends on what mood I'm in. There's I want to get lost in a story comfort game for me, where I just want to be completely distracted. And there's the mindless aspect to a comfort game. So the mindless ones would be Dynasty Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I always play Dynasty Warriors games when I kind of want mindless distraction for comfort. So I play Dynasty Warriors 8 mainly because that's the one that I can play the easiest and it's the most accessible. So I would say Dynasty Warriors 8 is the one that I would pick out of all of them. So that's my first one. It's so easy to play, and I just hack and slash my way through armies and kind of pay attention to Chinese lore for a couple hours, and then that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, for the most part, when I was reading this, the general thing everyone said for their comfort games was something that's familiar. There was one person who was in a comment section of something that I was reading said that they'll play whatever current game they're currently playing. So whether that could be a new game to them, but they just said they will just focus on whatever they're playing, and that was the only person I saw say that out of what I read. Everyone else seemed to fall back on a familiar game. So the first game on my list is the one I'm playing, the one I talked about. I talked about with Will that I just wanted to go home and play. It's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I adore that game. It's going to be in the top 5 of my list when we redo it for episode 400, I guess. I just nowadays whenever I have a bad day or whatever, I just want to just get lost in Breath of the Wild because I love that game so much, and there's so much you can do. There's still stuff, despite me having put 170 hours into it at this point, things that I haven't seen, things that I didn't see my first time I played through it. But even like if I just need to collect items, I can just wander around and collect things. I don't have to fight. Even in master mode, which the battling is a little bit more stressful. There's not really a ton of that if you don't want there to be. So definitely Breath of the Wild. And I did read Breath of the Wild was on a lot of other people's lists too.
So yeah, I'm gonna say now it's on one of mine, or it's on my list as well. The cool thing with Breath of the Wild is it does the two things that I want in my comfort games. Either A, has a story that you can kind of get lost in, like a world you can get lost in, but it also has that mindless aspect to it too, because you can just dive into this game, do a few mindless, mundane things, and then dip out if you want, if you're busy. So Breath of the Wild is kind of like the perfect game for this list.
Yeah, and like I said, it made a few people's lists, so
yeah,
I was happy to see that. Next on my list is Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
and we also got a feedback about that, which I'm gonna read right now because it's my thoughts about the game to a T. Let me just call it up here. I meant to call it up before we started, but of course I didn't. It was from Tate, and he actually wrote in like a full feedback. And then when he saw what our topic was, he wrote like an addendum about Stardew Valley and how it was his go-to comfort game. So I'm just waiting for that to load up. Yeah, because my internet connection is very stressed out right now because there's 2 TVs, the kids' TVs upstairs on, hockey's on upstairs, 2 Skype calls. It's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I expect catastrophic failure at some point.
Yeah, at least a couple times.
So,
it wouldn't be a podcast if not at this point.
No. He says, sorry, here's an addition to my feedback. I just barely noticed on Twitter the topic for this week. My comfort game is 100% definitely Stardew Valley. Every time I play, I'm so relaxed and just feel so good about everything. The gameplay is great. I feel productive without stress. And the music is God's gift to the world. Stardew Valley equals comfort. Taterade out. Totally, Tate.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not stressed out, when I load up Stardew Valley and hear the intro music, you just like melt. You just melt. You turn into putty.
It's familiar and it's so kind of soothing to hear that intro because it's just so peaceful.
Yep. It's a very happy game. I have read people getting or saying that Stardew Valley is not a relaxing or de-stressing game, that stresses them out.
Really?
Yeah. I'm surprised to hear that because it's those people that feel like they have to go all the time, I guess. Whereas for me, like, if you want to just take your time and clear a field, like, you don't have to do anything during the day, You could you could fish all day if you wanted. Like
those are probably the same people who don't do well, like kind of organizing. That might be the wrong words, but like they don't do well handling like free time and like organization and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's very high on my list. I ended up only putting about 3 games on my list. 3 things that I commonly go to when I get stressed out or have a bad day.
Yeah.
It's mostly food that I use for comfort.
Fortunately for me, too, it is also food.
Yeah.
It's worth noting I ate 90 pizza rolls in 2 sittings over the weekend. So.
Yep, I also hit up the pizza rolls myself.
Yep.
Go ahead, Will. What do you got next?
Yeah, so my next one's Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I crap on this game on this podcast and, speak ill of it, I always return to it, and we all return to it. We've all been playing Skyrim since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue playing Skyrim, probably even after the next Elder Scroll games comes out. It's just one of those. It's one of those game worlds that you just get lost in, and it you literally can do whatever. There's storylines that you can, if you don't want to do the main storyline, you can screw around in any of the cities and like do some small quests. You can explore, you can find cool things. Like it's just there's so much variance to Skyrim and how you can play it and what you can do. You can make your character any way that you want it. It's just a fun world to get lost in, and like with the fall kind of hitting right now, it's getting a little bit colder. It's kind of nice to be able to stay inside and explore the snowy white mountains of Skyrim.
Yeah, absolutely. And not have to freeze your buns off and actually explore the snowy mountains.
Exactly.
Yep, that was a game that was on a lot of other people's lists too, Will. Skyrim was on there a lot that I saw. The Witcher 3 was on there a lot, which I was kind of surprised by.
Okay.
But it's like you said earlier with the open world.
Yeah.
Being able to just lose yourself in a well-crafted world, and that's something a lot of people went for. Pretty much like any RPG you can imagine. I saw people put Mass Effect on there because, again, it was more the character Commander Shepard that they were like, because I feel so powerless now, I like being able to be a badass like Commander Shepard. That really helps me get through stressful times. So
yeah, Mass Effect's actually another series that I have on my list for that exact.
Oh,
not that exact reasoning that you can be, you're powerless, but that's actually a really good point. It's just like being able to be Commander Shepard and build relationships within a crew is just another thing that I like, and being able space is really one of my most is the topic I'm most interested in because it's so abstract, everything out there. So being able to explore it in a game world with a crew is just really cool, and adding the cool abilities and combat to it, it's something that I kind of is an easy world for me to get lost into, with a lot of stories and a lot of relationship stuff that you can build with your different crewmates and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Idaho Jake says he's modding Skyrim right now.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
We will continue to play Skyrim until God knows when.
Yeah. So the next game on my list is Crusader Kings 2. And more specifically, as of recently, it's the Game of Thrones mod for Crusader Kings 2, which is very, very good. Okay. But that's a game that is familiar, but at the same time, there's enough to it that even though I've played it for, I think, over 200 hours at this point, I'm still learning tips and tricks. And it never plays out the same way twice, not even close. Just there's so many different systems acting with each other. And it really is like the butterfly effect in games where any tiny little thing you do sends a ripple across the rest of the game. And it never ends up working out the same way twice. Things rapidly change. And but yeah, the music too, if anyone's played Crusader Kings 2 out there, the music is very it seems like they play the same song for an hour and then it switches. I know it's not that long, but when the music switches and you're like, oh, it's a new song, and it's another excellent relaxing song.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the last game on my list. It's good stuff.
That's one I actually have never played. I think that's out of my realm of not comprehension, but there's a lot to that game that I don't know if I'd be able to.
It is a lot, because not only do you have to learn all the game systems, but you have to learn feudal politics, levels of government and stuff, and it's different depending on where you are in the game. I had to like learn how medieval society was, in addition to the systems in the game. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
very rewarding. But it took me 20 hours to just like learn how to play the game at the most basic level.
Yeah, understand it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got, Will?
Another one, Fallout 3. It's another game I keep replaying. Kind of the same trend as my other ones.
Hmm.
Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games ever, and it's just something really, really fun to go back to and kind of explore destroyed Capital Wasteland. And it's kind of funny because you'd think that the world is so destroyed and depressed, and like when you're playing these comfort games, it's like you're bumming,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, like it's kind of cool being able to explore the wasteland even when I'm bumming.
Hmm.
So that's another one on my list as well.
That one I saw a fair amount of times too, and again, it had to do with losing yourself in a world.
Yep.
If you want to go slaughter raiders, you can go slaughter raiders. If you want to collect junk, like Corey puts it, you can go collect junk.
Especially in Fallout 4.
Some people love that.
Yeah. Just kind of hoard things for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's another thing in Skyrim too. Like, if you want to fill an entire house with cheese wheels or cabbages, you can do that, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I never tried it myself, but a lot of people did that.
It's one of those cool things to see other people do.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, like,
that's interesting.
What depths of insanity has this person gone through that they just wanted to fill a house with cabbages?
Yeah. Or cheese wheels.
Or cheese wheels, yeah.
What is it, Wisconsin?
Must be, I don't know. So do you have any more games? Because I have honorable mentions.
Yeah, I have a couple more that I can mention here real quick. Final Fantasy Tactics is my favorite game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I always go back to, and I try to play it yearly. But the story in that game is really easy to get lost into because it's pretty. In my opinion, it's one of the more complex Final Fantasy stories.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it's kind of like the good versus evil, but the whole religion like factor added to it, and the corruption aspect added to all the characters and all those sorts of story elements that they have into it is all something that I really like. You can get lost into. You can kind of build characters how you want, grind. All those things are pretty easy and standard in RPGs, but it's something that I really, really, get into.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it, really.
Okay. So I wrote down a couple games that I saw a lot on people's lists. The first being Diablo 3.
I almost put that on there.
Diablo 3 was on there a lot, and for a lot of the same reasons that we talked about, but also kind of the simplicity of it. Eric always joked that you just mash on the click button, which that is kind of what it is. I mean, there's a little more to it than that, but it's goes along too with your especially on the lower difficulty levels with your mindless thing with Dynasty Warriors. Well,
yeah.
You just slaughter endless waves of enemies, and when does that not feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with how cool some of the effects are for the abilities and stuff. Like it's a nice to look at game. Yeah,
you're literally slaughtering demons.
Yeah.
One of the most evil things.
Yeah.
It's something. It's that mindless, constant slaughter that kind of. It's super easy to get your mind off of everything.
Yeah. One thing I saw a lot of and it surprised me because I've kind of hinted at this before, Overwatch, but it was specifically the Mystery Heroes mode.
Really?
Which I've talked about before. That's the one where every time you die, you spawn as a random hero. That is by far my favorite way to play Overwatch. And I saw that 3 or 4 times, which was enough to for me to make a note of it. Because there was 3 or 4 people who swore by the specific mode in Overwatch, which is, I don't believe it's that popular of a mode. But yeah, it was specific enough that I felt like I had to mention it.
It's funny because I thought you and I were the only ones that kind of swore by it.
Yeah.
Because of how much we enjoy it. But it's good to see other people online kind of are able to play it and kind of feel that same way,
Yeah, I just thought that was weird because I didn't see anyone just say Overwatch. I saw a few different MOBAs on there that people play just because of the familiarity thing. I saw Smite a few times. I don't think I saw any Dota or League of Legends.
Well, you
But
get
there,
reached at.
yeah. But there's a few MMOs on there too. But like I said, very specifically, I saw the Overwatch Mystery Heroes, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, no, I
I
love that pick.
did see Fortnite on there a fair amount.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. I mean, it's the most popular game in the world right now. People play it with their friends, so if you have a bad day, you group up with your friends, and it's a really fun game. I know I don't play it. I know Will doesn't play it, but it's not because it's not fun. There's other things I want to play, you know?
If we kind of played the same game that those repetitive online competitive games, if we kind of continuously played them, we wouldn't have time for any
Any other things.
anything else.
That's right. That's a large reason why I don't. Even like a game like Mario Kart 8, which is actually my last honorable mention because I saw that a lot. I don't play that online much because it takes away from me playing new things like Tomb Raider, and I'm already trying to break away from Breath of the Wild, and I can't. So if I had something else like Mario Kart 8 or like Fortnite, I wouldn't play other things at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what, Dan? There's something to racing. Because Forza Horizon 4,
yeah,
I thought about putting on my list because that game makes you feel good when you're down.
I love racing games too. I'm the only one that openly says, I actually like racing games. I know you like the Horizon games, Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I actually generally like racing games, Mario Kart included, or generally rally games, but yeah, Forza Horizon games are amazing. I'm gonna play the Forza Horizon 4 at some point. I'm gonna do the month of the Xbox Games Pass and just play as much as I can in that month.
That is worth it.
Yep. So, but yeah, the last game on my honorable mentions list, Mario Kart 8, I saw that quite a bit on there. It's just fun, and actually, I don't know if I talked about this, but with the new Nintendo Switch Online thing. You could do voice chat with randoms with people you're playing against on, and apparently it's like super civil. The Mario Kart, which I never expected because I know I don't usually get angry at games, but I get angry when things don't go my way in Mario Kart. Not that I would ever curse into the voice chat, but everything I've read said everyone's been like super nice, super supportive, super civil. So that's nice to hear because. That'd be awful if
you're getting
if game reporters were getting cursed out on Mario Kart by 12-year-olds. That would be terrible. Yeah. But they're probably not playing that. They're probably playing Fortnite. So
yep, definitely.
It's either the youngins or people my age who generally know better.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Not all of us know better, but
I actually thought about Dan just saying Nintendo games.
Yeah. There is to an extent because there was a few of the Mario games on there. Like a lot of people played Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
What else did I see? I don't think I saw any Splatoons. I saw someone say Borderlands. But yeah, a lot of the Nintendo games were on there. I
specifically wanted to list Breath of the Wild. I didn't want to lump that into the Nintendo game category.
Yeah, because it is so different than anything else Nintendo's done.
Yeah, and it really deserves its own spot on the list. Because, I can include all of the, Mario Odyssey and the past Mario games and, Splatoon and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to give Breath of the Wild its own props.
Yeah, definitely. And that's all I have, Will, if you have anything else you want to add in before we move on.
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, I mean, games are a great way to escape, so... that's why I felt like this was kind of an easy topic to do anyway,
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into Nibble Bits. Will, do you have any Nibble Bits?
I do, Dan. I have a couple here.
Okay.
Speaking of Stardew Valley, the co-op update on Switch should be ready sometime soon.
I heard that. That's awesome.
That's exciting. We still have to do Dragon Bay Farm.
Yes, we do. Does everyone have it on the Switch? I know we all have it on PC, but I would prefer to do it on the Switch.
I would bet Corey would be on board doing it on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't mind spending another $15 on Stardew Valley for the Switch.
I'll ask him in our group message if he wants to do that.
can we do? Is it or is it only local co-op on the Switch?
Let me look here real quick, Dan.
Yeah, I'm interested.
They're in the Q&A testing phase to work out bugs and whatnot. It should be ready for release. I think it's what the PC version has.
Okay, so online.
Because I feel like they would say it would be said at some point, right?
Yeah, I would think so. It's only local co-op.
Okay, so yeah, I'm assuming. Wait, so yeah, no, I think it should be multiplayer co-op.
Okay.
So that's my first nibble bit. That's exciting. So Sony apparently had leaked their free games of November a little bit early because the ones in October literally just came out. But it's looking like Yakuza Kiwami. I'm not big on the Yakuza game, so I could be wrong with the pronunciation or the game. And then Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition is the other one. Those are the PS4 games as of right now. So,
okay.
I think Bulletstorm's pretty good, right?
I've never played one, but I know people like them. Bulletstorm games.
Okay. And last but not least, Stan, I hope you didn't have this one. I don't know. If you did, it can transition into yours. But rumor, new Nintendo Switch coming in 2019.
Yeah, what are the? Do you know the specifics? Is it just like a refresh?
Has plans to release an upgraded Nintendo Switch console at some point in the second half of 2019. According to the report, the new unit will be compatible with all existing software, but will feature upgraded display hardware similar to that used in modern smartphones. Though the report mentions that Nintendo are now expected to adopt Apple's recently integrated OLED technology.
Okay.
So it's not impossible to imagine Nintendo releasing an upgraded version of the successful hybrid console, given their history of re-releasing previous handheld consoles such as the Game Boy, blah, 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 blah. So it just seems like you're going to be getting a better screen on the Switch.
Yeah, I saw a mock-up that someone did that was a Nintendo Switch with very slim bezels, and it looked awesome. Like awesome, because you know how you see like a TV with just the smallest little bezels and it looks like so modern and futuristic. Well, yeah, it was a Switch with just very slim bezels around the outside, and it looked so good.
Okay,
I was surprised at how I'm like I want that right now. So maybe that's kind of what they're going for.
Yeah, I mean, are you gonna get an upgraded Switch when it comes out?
It depends. I'm interested. If it is the one with the slim bezels, I'll be interested at the very least. But if there's not really much of an upgrade other than a little bit of a display upgrade, then it's probably not worth it for me.
When do you think they announce this? Are they going to do it at one of their random directs, or do you think they wait until like a big conference?
If it's supposed to be something that's coming out late 2019, that I would guess it's probably going to be at like E3 next year.
That's probably a safe bet
if I had to guess.
Is there any big game conferences? PAX maybe? Do they do PAX?
There's PAXs all over the place. I can't remember whenever that one. I know PAX East is it's because it's right around Easter. Because we've meant to go since we started this podcast and we never could because it was right around Easter.
Yeah.
So. And that's in Boston, but
I'm just curious if they would they have a short release window from the time that they announce it? Because it's in June.
I think so. If it's only like a upgraded version of the current Switch, it's not as big of a deal than like a Switch 2.0. You know.
Yeah.
It's like they do with the 3DSs.
Gotcha. All right. That's it for my nibble bits, though, Dan.
All right, I've got a couple here. The first one is that Telltale has finally laid off the last of its remaining employees. They'd kept a few people on to tie up some loose ends with some of the projects they were working on. But as far as I know, as of today, they were all laid off. But yeah, well before all their work was finished. So, sad news.
Yikes!
Surprising. I just feel like Telltale they were on top of the world like 2 years ago. I don't know what happened. I keep meaning to read like the downfall of Telltale. There's been multiple articles about it. I just haven't had the opportunity to read up on it.
I'd like a documentary.
Yeah, maybe there will be a documentary.
Because I don't like reading. So I like being visualized everything.
Yeah.
It's easier for my dumb face.
See, I prefer to skim things. Like, I hate when I click on something that sounds interesting on like GameSpot, I'm sorry, and it's a video, or IGN, and it's a video instead of an article. Because like I can't sit and watch a video, but I can skim an article in like 30 seconds and get all the main points of it. You know?
Yeah.
And then my next nibble bit. Probably not my last. I'm going to go scroll through a few others to see if I can pick up something else. But the Chronicles of Narnia is being developed by Netflix for films and series.
Really?
Which is awesome because I love Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, Chronicles of Narnia is awesome.
I like the first movie. The second movie's okay. Voyage of the Dawn Treader is not great. That could have been better. But I do love the books, so
yeah,
very excited about that.
One of the few book series I have ever read was the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, the whole series?
I want to say I read... I definitely did 2 books. Don't remember the third one as much.
Yeah. I read them all and listened to the audiobooks, too.
Oh, wow.
The last one, the name I can't remember at this point, was done by Patrick Stewart, which was awesome.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to look it up because it's going to bother me. Chronicles of Narnia books. It's The Last Battle is the one.
Okay.
So, yeah, great stuff. I'm just going to scroll through here, see if there's anything else. Google unveils game streaming project. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's game streaming through a browser.
I did see that.
And they're going to start tests soon with Assassin's Creed Odyssey if you get accepted into the program. So, that's interesting.
Are you going to try and join?
Yeah, actually. I think I'm going to.
Now, do you get Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free to test it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess however long the beta test runs for.
That would be a good way to play the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's reviewing really well, so... Out of nowhere, too, mind you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is a weird one, and I don't know if you saw this, Will, but Alexander Ovechkin is going to be in World of Warships.
Huh.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I don't know why. But they have him as like a commander, and then they have like skins for ships that are like Washington Capitals skins, and they have him in wearing a bunch of like admiral uniform.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. If anyone's interested, look that up because it's hilarious and it's a weird crossover, but very cool.
That's cool. But it's a very bizarre crossover.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find this.
It's interesting.
Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, I see it.
So outside of that, Will, how was your week?
Oh, Dan, other than kind of what we discussed, that's kind of what I've been doing the whole time. Played a little video games, worked. Yeah, that's really it. I've had other than the one thing that we talked about earlier, I've had a very uneventful week.
Yeah, it's been kind of survival mode for us this week. We had illness in our house in addition to everything that was going on with Dad. House stuff too. There's not really any updates I can give. It's just still like back and forth. Now we're at the point where we need to do the back and forth on between us and the sellers about credits and stuff they're going to fix before we have the closing and move in. So that's where we're at now. Our mortgage and everything was officially approved. I think the appraisal has to come in too. So yeah, so we're getting closer. Still no time frame on like when the closing would be. The preliminary schedule for the closing was at the end of October. I think it was like the 29th. I don't know if we're going to get there or not. Probably depends on a lot of things. I think we because our mortgage was approved, we have to be everything has to be done by the middle of November. So that would probably be the latest if everything goes through still. So, yeah, not too many updates on that.
You're just trying to get it done as fast as possible, right? I'm guessing. But as efficiently.
Yeah. There was a little bit of like water leakage coming from the chimney in the house, so we're gonna have the sellers fix that. There's a few other minor things that we want them to give us money back for after the sale's complete for us to fix or for me to fix on the house before we move in. Some minor things that I can take care of. So yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
But man, it'll be nice to get into a bigger house.
I bet you can't wait.
Yeah. God, anything? I think I talked about it earlier, but for rookie camp this week, I had Val play the first hour and 15 minutes or so of the new Life is Strange. So that's on our YouTube channel if you're interested in watching that. We will be doing the episode on Life is Strange next week. Couldn't get a chance to play it for this week's episode, so.
Yeah, I want to watch it, but I can't until I play
Yeah,
it.
you don't want to spoil anything for yourself. So yeah, we're gonna have the episode next week.
Real quick, I just want to ask you, thumbs up or thumbs down so far?
Thumbs up so far, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's like I said, hour and 15 minutes in.
You're about halfway.
Rough. Yeah, I don't know how long the episode's supposed to be. I never looked that up. So.
They're about 2 to 3, I want to say.
Yeah. I guess since we're rolling it right into what we played, I can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything. I will say that it didn't take very long for me to get into the new characters.
Okay.
It's a completely new cast. As far as I've been able to tell, there hasn't been any appearances from any of the other characters. I know some of the characters from Captain Spirit were supposed to make an appearance. They have not to this point, so I don't know when exactly that's going to happen. But it did not take long to get into the story and get into the new characters. The music stands out as being very Life is Strange music, so there's that too. One of the songs me and my wife knew actually from the local radio station that we listened to. So,
really?
Which is kind of cool. Yeah, we listen to 100.5 The Drive, alternative and indie rock music. It's really good. Like, I hate the radio with a passion, but they play a lot of really good songs. So that's the only place around here probably you'll hear Blink and Green Day and Weezer. They play a lot, and then they play a lot of like newer indie rock, like a band that me and my wife started liking, AJR, has a couple of really good songs on there. There's one, The Interrupters. It's like a LA ska band that they just started playing songs from and have gotten a lot of positive feedback about, I guess.
The Interrupters. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So this is all part of the soundtrack?
No, that's the stuff that they put on the radio station that we listen to here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because before that radio station came along, we hadn't had a good radio station in a long time.
Yeah,
it's mostly country. There's a few country stations. There's classic rock, and then it's all like modern pop music, which I don't like. So,
and trap music.
Not even that. It's just pop.
Oh wow, they don't even play some trap.
Oh, they do, but it's not like. I thought you were talking about like a rap radio station.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, they anything popular they'd play. So
they're playing Ariana Grande.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's my girl.
Yeah. So yeah, aside from that, I played a lot of Breath of the Wild. I am currently doing Divine Beast Va Naboris. I just got to the boss. So that'll be my third Divine Beast on my Master Mode playthrough. I'll just have to do the last one, the Fire Salamander one, whose name I keep forgetting. But I've also been farming some stuff to upgrade my gear. I love that game. I won't talk any more about it, but God, so good.
Yeah. The fire one was hard because it was hard to get there, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yep, it took me a long time to figure out how to be able to survive in the fire.
It was definitely the last one I did.
Which was one of the cool things about it, you know. There's a lot of survival elements in that game.
Yeah, you literally have no clue how to access certain areas because you can't either too cold or too hot.
Yeah, you've got to figure out how to get there.
God, that game is so good.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, Will, what'd you play?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters. That game is too good. I kind of took a brief hiatus of it over the summer, but I'm back to playing it again, and I love it. I've been messing with my team a little bit. With all the DLC out now, I now play as Super Saiyan Blue Goku. That's what I lead off with. Then Android 17, and then the Gohan version who beat Cell.
Okay.
Is the one that I use. I don't use adult Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wimp compared to young boy Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the team that I've been rolling with, and I've been having a lot of fun. I've been winning some games online too in ranked, which doesn't happen with Mirthas and fighting games online. So
yeah,
it's just so much fun to play. The auto combos make it easy. Android 17 is really fun to play. He's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character, so I just kind of have a really easy time playing him for some reason. You know, some characters you just you're good with.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's one, and the Gohan that I use, I'm also like really good with. From I mean, I shouldn't say really good because I'd get trounced by people who are actually good, but I have an easier time playing as. But the main thing that I've been playing is Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, the big new release. Would that come out like a week and a half ago or something?
Tuesday.
Oh, it was just this Tuesday.
Yep, I actually stayed up until it came out. That game is so good.
Yeah.
So I'm not very far. I'm only like maybe an hour into the game. So I don't know how much has changed comparatively to this game to the last game. The one thing they kind of play with in the beginning, in the first like 10 minutes in the opening sequence, is the season changes. So you'll be driving, and it'll be fall, and you get to see everything being, fall like outside, and then it goes winter, and then it shows you driving in the winter with different vehicles, and then it's spring, and then it's summer, and you kind of like, it shows off all of the different seasons right off the bat, so you can kind of see how different the game controls, which is really cool because driving in the snow is just so radically different compared to like the fall and the spring. Like spring and fall are kind of similar because it's kind of wet. Wet outside, so like those are the same, but like when you're driving in the winter, you're sliding all over, you're going off the road, you're crashing, and then in the summer, like you're driving pretty safe because there's really no hazards out there other than other drivers.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another cool thing is you get a house in this game. I don't know if that was in the past ones, but
I don't remember that from Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, I don't either. So I think that's a new thing, and that's where you kind of customize your character. So you just drive to your house, and they give you a sweet house too. It's like a mansion.
Nice.
So you go in there and you can, upgrade your character, change the clothes, stuff like that, change what they look like. And other than that, so far what I've been playing, like I've been doing races, I've been doing the notoriety, like events where you get popularity, stuff like that, getting new cars. I wish I could tell you the cars that I'm using, but I am not a car person at all.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what I'm actually using and driving with. I want to say one's an Audi.
R8?
Audi TTC sounds familiar.
Audi TT, yeah.
Okay, so
it's a little two-door coupe.
Yep, that sounds familiar. So that's what I'm driving.
Cool.
I also have another car, but I don't know what it is. But it's a phenomenal game. It's just, I don't even play it for more than like an hour, but like it's fun to play like 15 minutes, do a couple of races, and then dip out and then go do something else. Like, that's what's awesome about it, and I really love the game so far. It's the praise it's getting is worth it. Yeah,
I've heard that from everyone I've read that has played it. Everyone loves it. One thing that I know is new in this game is it's a fully shared world. It's the same world for all players. which is
Really?
new from Forza Horizon, the previous games. So that's interesting. I'm interested to see how all that works. Is the world just like that big that it can have all those players in at the same time?
It's really big.
Yeah, that's what
I know.
that's what I've heard.
I haven't. I've literally only done. You can discover roads, and I've only discovered 33 roads so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally in one tiny corner of the map. That's kind of where I've been hanging out right now. This is kind of the game where you can just go on a drive. So I'm thinking maybe after podcast tonight, I'm just gonna get into my Audi TT and just drive England, and just kind of see what's going on. Because it is a very big world.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I'm not a car person at all. I kind of think people. I don't value cars as high as other people. I've never really cared what people drive, but even I like this game.
Yeah.
So that says a lot to, what is it, Playground? Playdead? Playground?
Playground, I think. Yep.
Yeah, Playground. I can't wait to see what they do with that Fable game.
Oh, I know. Their attention to detail is superb.
Yeah, it is unmatched. So I recommend everybody check it out. It's awesome.
Okay. Anything else, Will?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Feedback. I know we got some feedback this week.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. So I will start with Tate's feedback, since I've already got that all called up. And I know I have one on Facebook too, so. All right. So Tate says, "Sup guys, I was watching some videos from old E3s or other places where games were announced and everyone lost their shit. They were so excited. It got me thinking about game announcements that made me lose my shit with excitement. In order of excitement / freak out level, here are my top 5 games I lost my shit to. Side note, this does not reflect my feelings about how the games actually turned out, good or bad, just reflects my excitement for the announcements of said games. So number 1 was Halo 4. Number 2 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Number 3 was Halo 3. Number 4 was Halo 2. And 5 was Star Wars Battlefront. As I got more and more into the Halo story, I got more excited for each game that was coming out. Battlefront I was so stoked for a few years ago, and what a shit show that turned out to be. And I was a huge fan of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I played so much of it that when they announced Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I went crazy. I was so excited for how they would use that same world of Call of Duty and make it even better. Now, when the announcement for Halo 4 came out, I almost cried. Not even kidding. I was so excited to play that game and continue my nostalgia for the story of the Master Chief. Those are some great moments and when an announcement comes out that you either wanted really bad or one that you weren't expecting for another year or so, and it happens. Can you guys remember any announcements of games over the years that made you guys lose your shit at all? Have a good one, gents. Taterade out.
Man, so game that we've lost it to.
Yeah.
That's a good
what
question.
What game announcement blew your mind?
I'm trying to think of all the years that we've done this, what I've come on here and said, guys, I am most excited for this.
I mean, I've got to say, No Man's Sky. When they announced that, everybody lost their crap.
Yeah, we all did for that one.
The trailer for it was unbelievable, and it made it look like it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know?
I mean, recently thinking, like, Final Fantasy VII remake, I was like, oh my god, but like, we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is just based on the announcement itself. When the announcement was made, how excited were you?
Yeah, I was pumped for that one. So that's one. There's got to be others, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ones from back in the day. I know I was really excited when Mistwalker announced Blue Dragon. I was really, really pumped for, because they were former Final Fantasy people.
Yeah.
Like I said, way back in the day. And obviously the game ended up being a crushing disappointment for me, but I was really excited when they announced that. So I'm trying to come up with some other ones. Yeah, it is hard to remember my excitement. I know I was excited for all the Halo games too. I'm in the same boat. I did really like the story. Halo 3 especially, because it was the first one on the 360. With all the awesome online capabilities, I knew I would be sinking a lot of time into that. I was also living on my own at the time, so I just played Halo when I got home from work. When I got home from work, I played Halo and I drank beers for months. That's all I did.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited when World at War got announced way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's more. I know there's something that if you told me that I was excited for, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're right.
Throwing one out there, Star Wars Galaxies. When that was announced. And I don't even know if I found out about it by like a traditional game announcement. But when I found out about it, I was like, oh my God, a Star Wars MMORPG. Like, this is going to be amazing. And it turned out it was for a while until they simplified it and made it awful. Still hold a grudge about that.
Yeah. I'd never forget the Star Wars Galaxy episode that we had.
The lengthy Star Wars Galaxies episode.
Oh yeah, it was
like
a long one.
It was like 5.5 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the 5.5 hour epised.
Dave in Boston wanted a marathon episode, and he got it.
I'll never forget it because we had Chris on because we knew
he was the one that played the most with me. Like, we played that game religiously for months. Months.
Well, and I remember because Mom actually let me go into school late the next day because I was up till like 3, 4.
Yeah, that was a late one.
Because we got Skylark after.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we did that.
Yep.
Holy crap. That's right.
I wasn't driving at that point. I don't think so. I have no idea how I got home, but
I think Corey brought you home.
He was drunk though.
Yeah, he probably was. You're right. Did our sister take you home?
Maybe.
She was still living here, right?
Yeah, because Mom wouldn't have come to get me at like 2 or 3.
I don't think so.
And if she did, God bless her.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I honestly cannot remember for the life of me.
No, I don't think I would have taken you home.
Because you guys were definitely all drinking, because that was part of the reason why I went so late. Because Corey and Chris did the spoiler after of Skyrim.
Oh, that's right.
And they were trying to figure out how to end the podcast on podcast.
That's right, because I was somewhere else because I didn't want the ending spoiled for me.
Yeah, you, me, and Eric were in the car. I know Eric drove us to Skylark.
Okay.
I think Eric might not have drank, but I know he didn't drive me home. So
right. Did you maybe stay with Corey? And Mom picked you up in the morning?
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Or maybe he took you home in the morning after sleeping off his drunk.
I wonder if Mom would remember.
She might. I sure don't.
A lot of those podcasts, like with the flood, I know Dad very clearly remembers that one.
Yeah, because he had a hell of a time trying to get home.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, Star Wars Galaxy. Wait, we Star Wars Galaxies, right, for a hyped game? Yeah.
Yeah, we went on a tangent there, but dang it, I'm trying. I got to at least come up with one more that I was really excited for.
Were we here? Were we doing this podcast when Mass Effect 3 got announced?
I don't know.
Because that would be one regardless, I would assume.
Yeah. I don't know if it was announced beforehand. I mean, we knew it was coming, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, that's a good question, Tate. Maybe I'll have to like think back another time and
definitely
see if I can come up with some other ones, because that's a great question. Next is from Idaho Jake, who says, "Hey guys, I will take Kingdom New Lands for my win. I beat Spider-Man, and I just have to say, wow, what a game and ending. It is my game of the year so far." Oh, well done, sir. I'm beating the game. I just pre-ordered Red Dead 2, so we will see if it beats out Spider-Man. Now for Idaho Jake's This Day in Gaming History. 2000, Formula 1 released on PlayStation, and Street Fighter 3 released on Dreamcast. 2003, Tony Hawk's Underground released on all systems, and Mario Pinball Land released on Game Boy Advance. 2005, Black and White 2 released on Windows. 2007, Crusader Kings Des Vault released it on Windows. Deus Vault. 2010, Pokemon Rangers came out on DS. 2011, Dark Souls, Rage, and Spider-Man Edge of Time released on all consoles. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.
You beat Spider-Man, and then it comes up in this day in gaming.
Yeah, Dark Souls and Rage came out on the same day.
Really?
Yeah, I remember you got Rage at launch, didn't you?
I didn't even hear you mention Rage. I heard Dark Souls. I think when I hear Rage, I block it out immediately.
Yeah. No one liked that game but me.
Yeah. You are the only one that liked it.
Yeah, at least on this show.
I don't think it reviewed poorly.
I think it got average scores. I think everyone expected it to be Fallout-like, and it wasn't. It had a similar feel world-wise.
It was shallower RPG-wise.
Yeah.
When's the second Rage coming out?
I think it's supposed to come out early next year. It got pushed back.
Okay.
I want to say February. I'm actually really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick look. Rage 2 release date.
Only 199 drop frames so far. That's exciting.
Ooh, not bad. Q1, Q2 of 2019.
Okay, Q2.
1 or 2. Have a random number generator ready just in case. Or not just in case.
Oh, this is an interesting thought I should mention. I wish I had checked this beforehand, but Dave in Boston said, I find puzzle games are relaxing. You don't even have to have the sound for them. I include Peggle and the like. That's interesting. I never would have thought something like Tetris. That's a great call. Never would have thought those.
Yeah. I forgot to say, Johnny came up with Minecraft.
Yeah, I saw Minecraft on a lot of lists too. Yep.
He said,
That's a good
Minecraft's one he always goes to when he's under duress.
That's a good one. Okay, so the last piece of feedback is from Rachel, who says, "Hey guys, I finally fired up the PS4 this past weekend after not touching it all summer. The only game I was playing since spring is Stardew Valley on the laptop. All right. I started back into The Long Dark and am instantly rehooked on the survival mode. It's so immersive, and I love getting home from work, brewing a cup of coffee, and just escaping into the wilderness. They updated a few things. For example, they changed how melting and boiling snow to make potable water works. The game isn't big on teaching you anything, which is something I love about it. You pretty much need to figure things out or look them up yourself. I died of thirst a couple times before I finally Googled WTF is going on. Now I'm all caught up, and I like the changes because it's more realistic now. Friday the 13th is one of the free PS games this month, and I heard its multiplayer can be fun, so a few of my work friends and I are going to try to play it together. Congrats to Dan and the fam on finding a house. I hope all the red tape and details aren't stalling things too much. A little sports talk. How about our poor Cleveland Browns finally coming up with a W?
Yeah.
Say what? Welcome, Baker. He's the 31st guy to play quarterback for the team since they came back in 1999. Wow.
That's incredible.
Isn't that a crazy stat? We lost a close one to Oakland this past week, but hey, at least we won't go winless 2 years in a row. Baby steps. Baseball playoffs are my favorite. I'm really hoping the Indians can make another run this year. Their first game is tomorrow, Friday afternoon on the road against the Astros, who are hot right now, so we will see. All right, take care, guys. Rachel in Cleveland.
Ooh, so we got
Thanks, Rachel.
We talk a lot there with sports and
yeah. I don't blame you for only playing Stardew Valley all summer. That's obviously one of our favorites. The Long Dark. Corey's played that, right?
Yeah, Corey loved The Long Dark. He said we should all play it.
Yeah.
We would all really like it.
I had it downloaded at some point, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try this, and I never did. Because one of us owns it on Steam.
I actually bought it when it was first announced, when I was kind of into early access games, and it seems like this one actually worked out.
Yeah.
So.
You also love snow stuff, so that's right up your alley.
which is why I bought it initially. I saw snow and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, Corey spoke very highly of the Long Dark. And it's another one of those games where Corey's like, you guys have to play it. Just play it. And none of us ever did. So we apologize for that.
What other game is it that he said just play it and we never did?
There's been a few of them.
Like I know
I can't-
Enderall, but I don't give him credit for that one.
Yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head. My brain is just a pile of mush.
Mush. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what else? Friday the 13th. That's actually a Twitch favorite. I have never actually played that, but I know a lot of the people I follow on Twitch play it a lot. It seems like a fun game. It's kind of got that. It's kind of that asymmetrical multiplayer thing that like Evolve was going for a little bit.
But they pulled it off way better.
Yeah, definitely. Football. Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield. I actually have Baker Mayfield on my fantasy team, so I am wishing nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, and you know what? You guys should have beat Oakland last week. You guys got host. Big time.
Okay, what happened? I heard about it, but I never read up on it. A bad call, right?
So there were two. One was Carlos Hyde, the running back for the Cleveland Browns, rushed the ball with less. I don't know if it was 2 minute. It was going into the 2 minute warning, or if it was going after. But he rushed. They gave him a first down and spotted him, and then they reviewed it with not enough evidence to say that he wouldn't cross the line of scrimmage, but removed the spot and moved him further back, didn't give him a first down. And also they strip sacked Derek Carr. He fumbled and everything, but they said was it forward progress had happened. Oh no, they blew the play dead before he recovered. They recovered the fumble, and because if they blow the play dead, regardless if they're wrong or not, that's the rule.
That stinks.
Yeah, they should have won that game.
I feel the pain on that. I don't know if you remember the playoffs. Was it last year? 2 years ago? Was it when they were in the Cup Finals against Pittsburgh, where Colton Sissons had a goal?
Oh
because the ref lost sight of the puck, even though it was in the middle of the crease.
Yeah.
And wide open with no one around it, and he tapped it in, but the ref lost sight of it, and they blew the play dead.
It
sucks when that happens.
It's infuriating when that happens because it's not fair.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Because they everything that happened with that play and the Derek Carr play, that's just because the ref lost it, doesn't mean the play should be dead. I don't think.
I'm confused. Football rules baffle me. So was he in a pile of people and stopped for a split second and they blew the whistle dead? Is that what happened?
He was busting through the pile. You could still see him though in the camera angle, and he got to, I forgot what yard line it was, and they spotted him past that and then pulled it back. But when you watch the
I mean the strip sack. I'm sorry, the strip sack on Derek Carr.
I honestly, because I am so blown away that they blew the play dead, I don't even know why they blew it dead.
Okay. I know they're going above and beyond to try to protect quarterbacks this year, and
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Okay. So did he get stopped and they just immediately blew it dead instead of sometimes they give it a second to see if the runner's gonna break free, but they didn't do that, right?
See, I'm kind of foggy on the play now.
That's all right. I mean, I was just curious if that's what happened, because
I'm gonna watch a replay just to be.
I mean, the Clay Matthews one on who was it? It was week 2. He had a sack that there was nothing he could have done, and they called him for roughing the passer, and the other team ended up winning against Green Bay. I can't think of...
well, there was the Minnesota incident, and then there was the I cannot remember the other.
Yeah, it's a tough episode.
Washington.
Yes, it's right. Yeah. It was Alex Smith. Yeah, no, it's a bad week to try to remember things because, God.
So we're very all over the place right now.
I don't think I've been this scatterbrained in
ever.
It's been months probably since I've been this scatterbrained.
It's also worth noting in that Cleveland Browns game that David Fells and David Njoku did the fusion dance
Mm-hmm.
to
Nice.
celebrate a touchdown.
Nice.
I was watching it. I'm like, was that the fusion dance? Sure enough, I found a replay on YouTube. I'm like, it was the fusion dance. That's awesome.
Cool.
So I'm immediately a huge fan of the Browns because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like teams to be bad for a super long time, so I'm glad they at least have some positivity there.
The Browns are good.
Yeah, they have a decent team.
They're
From
they're
what I've
they're
seen.
at least decent. I don't want to say good,
Right.
but they've got a squad. They could be 4-0, but
Hmm.
they've had some bad kicker issues and unfortunate turnovers.
Sure, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I think back in the back of their minds, they're like, we're supposed to lose these type of games.
Hmm.
So that's probably floating around in there, and I'm thinking Baker Mayfield will change that culture though.
Well, he actually
He's quite good.
his team had 9 drops in that game
Yeah.
against the Raiders, and he said, "I just gotta get the ball like to him better, hit
Hmm.
him better towards the face or the chest."
Hmm.
It's like, nope, they can just catch the ball.
Catch the ball like they're paid millions of dollars to do.
Yep,
It
it's
it
not always you.
Yeah, it's one thing. I mean, you drop passes occasionally, but 9 in one game that's a lot.
Very Cleveland like.
So yeah. Baseball. You want to hit on
Yeah,
any baseball, Will?
yeah, we actually watched the Yankees Oakland game
Yeah.
last night in the hospital with the fam.
Yeah.
That was exciting. Playoff baseball is awesome, and the Yankees are playing the Red Sox, so
Yeah, our family grew up in Yankee country, Yankee fans. So I
Mhm.
still consider myself a Yankee fan. I haven't watched baseball in a while. If the Yankees go to like the ALCS, I'll probably watch at least a little bit. But hockey's also started, so
You're not gonna watch them play the Sox in the DS.
probably not.
You heathen.
It's not because I don't want to. I just like it's hard to watch sports in general as it is. My
Baseball.
my kids don't like sports, so like they complain enough.
Well, don't show them baseball because then they'll hate sports forever.
Yeah, it's hard enough to get hockey on the TV without them freaking complaining about it. And it's not like
Yeah.
when we were kids when there was one TV in the whole house. Like they all have their own TV, they have their own tablets. Like we have two switches. It's like do something else. You don't need to complain that the living room TV has hockey on it. You have
You
your
wanna
own
slug-
TV.
You want to slug them when they complain about it.
And then, like an old person does, I'm like, when I was growing up, we only had one TV and we watched whatever my parents wanted to watch. So,
That's funny.
yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still a Yankee fan. I also root for the Blue Jays, which is weird because you're not really supposed to because they're division rivals, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be watching the Yankees play the Red Sox probably in the ALDS because as much as I don't care about baseball sometimes, I will forever hate Boston Red Sox.
Oh,
So,
yeah, definitely.
the worst sports franchise in history of sports.
Who's good in the NL?
Brewers, Rockies are playing each other, and then it's
The Dodgers, I heard,
Dodgers
made it
and-
again.
Oh man, who are the Dodgers playing? I honestly couldn't tell you who the Dodgers are playing. Oh, Atlanta,
Oh, the
the
Braves.
Braves. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm actually rooting for both the Rockies and Brewers, so I'm kind of bummed they're playing. But I think I'm gonna root for the Brewers in the NL.
Yeah, it's nice to see someone different in there.
I like Christian Yelich too,
Mm-hmm.
so he's the star of that team.
Nice. Okay. I think that's all for Rachel's feedback, right?
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, looks good. So thanks for the feedback, Tate, Jake, and Rachel. Let me just do a real quick double check, make sure we didn't get anything late, like we do sometimes, because I don't want to miss anybody. I feel terrible when I miss someone's feedback.
Yeah,
Like I miss
If we miss your-
Cameron's feedback.
If we miss your feedback, don't think we're purposely not reading it.
No.
Please keep writing.
Yeah, we're just stupid. That's
yeah,
all.
we are just dumb.
I should say I'm stupid because I missed it.
I don't even attempt to try to get the feedback, Dan. You're not stupid.
That's everything. We had a pond hockey thing.
Ooh. From Reefer?
Yeah. He was it's pond hockey. I won't consider this part of Thumbstick Athletes feedback, but I do want to read it because it's funny. Pond hockey feedback. He says, Dan, outside of Boston and Toronto, that whole division is terrible. And then Reefer goes, me, ... rage. That is all.
You know what's funny?
And then I wrote to him and I apologized. I'm like, I'm sorry. I always forget that the Florida teams are in that division too. I'm still on the old division setup, and I do it all the time.
It's funny because I heard that, and I was like, I'm not even gonna say anything.
You should have corrected me because I'm still in the like it still boggles my mind that like Washington is in the Metropolitan Division with like I'm still like expecting that to be what it used to be, the South Eastern Conference South Division.
South Division, yeah.
I'm still in that mindset.
Well, so here's a little like this is how my mind works. I knew you were including Tampa because a pet peeve of mine are when people call me on stuff like that because they knew what I meant, but they just wanted to call me on it just to call me on it. I find a lot of the time for those types of situations. So I knew you would include Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant, so I was like, yeah, I let it roll. You almost always let people roll with it, like when they misspeak and stuff, because I know they just misspoke.
Yeah.
So
again, stupidity. But then I wrote to him. I was like, I'm sorry, I forgot that. I forget that the Florida teams are in the Atlantic Division, right?
Yeah.
Atlantic Metropolitan. Okay. I should know all these, but I'm still, like I said, stuck on the way the old division set up.
Wait, he wasn't pleased we both picked Tampa?
Well, that he's like, that's okay. You completely made up for it when you picked Tampa, but to go to the final. Like, yeah, I should have known that. So that is that. So we have 3 for the game giveaway, Will.
All right.
I want to hurry and conclude this episode because knock on wood, but we haven't had the internet drop out yet. And I just jinxed it, so.
So winner is number 3.
3 is Rachel.
Yay! Good job, Rachel.
Rachel wins again. Let me call up the game giveaway list. I gotta send Jake Kingdom New Lands. Oh, come on. What happened? Okay.
Can you hear Sophie meowing at me, by the way?
Yes, occasionally I can. Okay, so Rachel, first game.
Okay, it's first game. It's 1 through 150, yeah?
1 through 150, yeah. There's missing ones in there, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. Someday I'll compile them.
Okay. So 34 is number 1.
34 is Event 0.
Oh, good start. Next is 112.
112 is Risk of Rain.
That's a really good one, actually.
Yep. That's a good indie game.
I'd kill to play that one. 80.
80 is Expand Soundtrack Edition. I don't know what that is.
Ooh, another winner. 25.
25 is Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 Uprising on Steam.
Okay.
One more.
97.
97 is The Walking Dead Season 2. Rip Telltale.
In honor of Telltale.
Yeah. So your choices are Event 0, Risk of Rain, 80, Expand Soundtrack Edition. What was 25 again? Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 Uprising on Steam. And then the last one is The Walking Dead Season 2. So let us know what you want. I will send that to you. Send the code to you via Facebook. And yeah, that's an episode.
Yeah, that was our Comfort games.
Comfort games. We didn't lose internet, which is amazing. As I say that, it's going to cut out now. Next week is going to be Life is Strange 2. It will be a spoiler episode. just because you really can't talk about games like that too much without spoiling things. So if you haven't played it and are interested, probably just wait on listening to the episode until you play the first Life is Strange episode, Life is Strange 2 episode 1. So.
And both Corey and Val, right, are going to be on it?
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
At least that's the plan anyway. Corey has to play it first. You've got to play it first. Me and Val are going to play it together. Hopefully we can get to it this weekend, but if not, we'll definitely be able to play, because we already are like a third or halfway through it, however long the episodes are. So we should be able to finish that off, no problem. So
yeah, can't wait.
Yep. That's everything for episode 376 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Will.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.